Here to discuss, award-winning radio host and creator of Road Patrol Live, John DePetro is with us. John, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good to be with you, Julie.
Thank you kindly, John. So let's just start with your overall impressions. You followed this case very closely. You were watching all of the testimony closely, live tweeting with your listeners about it. What impressions did you walk away with from witness Jennifer McCabe, John?
You know, Julie, Jen McCabe, that was so difficult yesterday. She is a phenomenal witness. The jury's already seen her husband testify, her daughter testified. You know, a mistake that I think that the defense made is requesting the type of courtroom they have. I think I know why they did that, but it makes it very intimate. And Jen McCabe, now this is a, mother of four, very involved with the community, close friend of John O'Keefe, last one to text with him. And then on top of that, she's also a coach, but she had very good eye contact with the jury. I thought it was very important when she even mentioned Peg O'Keefe. The O'Keefe family, they have a tremendous presence in this courtroom. And I'm talking to people inside, people that are there. And they, the jury's watching Peg O'Keefe. So now make no mistake about it. Alan Jackson is a tough, maybe one of the premier defense attorneys in the country. But I think they made a mistake because I regard what happened yesterday was almost like a tune-up for Jen McCabe. You could see, she was starting to get into a rhythm, get comfortable, got home last night, huge sigh of relief, got a good night's sleep, hopefully. And I think she's got a sense, you get a sense of how to do this and how to handle him and when to stop and when to ask for things. So I think she was very good yesterday. I think she's going to be even better today.
I'm with you, John. I think she was an excellent witness. I stand by what I said earlier. I made an early call when I had just seen a few minutes of the testimony. I said she was very strong. And overall, she made some really big points through the questioning. We know things like talking about the harassment the family has been experiencing, just talking about how, as we heard in that clip we played right before we brought you in, John, she's saying, you're making up a story, defense team, that is not the truth of what happened. John, having been in the courtroom, seeing the jurors, do you think the jurors are sympathizing with witnesses like Jennifer McCabe, who are saying, I have experienced vicious harassment and just horrible vitriol that is undeserved because of this defense narrative?
I do, Julie. And, most of the time when we, see a situation like this, the phrase, the accused gets to face their accuser. This is the opposite. This is Kerry Roberts, Matt McCabe, Jen McCabe. They're facing the defense team of Yannetti and Karen Reed and Alan Jackson, who created this. I think it's a ridiculous narrative. When you look at this person, this is someone involved in a murder conspiracy, a big murder trial, that I covered up here was the Aaron Hernandez trial. And obviously, I was speaking with someone, this would be like as if they came up, maybe Alan Jackson should have been the defense attorney. They could have said that Tom Brady and Bob Kraft and Bill Belichick, they planted Odin Lloyd, their Aaron Hernandez home. I think the jury, and because, again, the intimacy of this courtroom, these are good people. These are great witnesses. I've covered trials I knew you have of, they bring in someone from witness protection, someone that's lied to the authorities. These are good, honest people. And when you have this many people at a party, everyone has their own idea of what happened. And so I don't think it's resonating. I think the defense of anything the jury is seeing, they're being overly aggressive in trying to spin some of this stuff.
I'm in agreement with you, John. Something that I do when I teach cross-examination is I tell students and lawyers, I teach lawyers how you have to mirror the witness. If you have a witness that's polite, not combative, you mirror that. And what I have seen from the defense team here is the same strategy with every witness. It's always hard. It's always a harsh cross, even when a witness is being polite. Now, with Jennifer McCabe's cross, I want to turn to that. In particular, the one thing that I was waiting for the most, John, and we're still waiting, is them to ask her about the Google search, because they have vilified this woman. People are making signs. These protesters don't know if they're being paid or not sure. We have no way to know. But about her Googling that, it to something in the morning where the state's evidence, her testimony is that it happened at Karen Reed's direction when she was sitting in the car trying to calm her down after they found John O'Keefe. Let's take a look at some of what Jen McCabe said on direct.
She grabbed my hands and she said, Google hypothermia, Google how long it takes to die in the cold. And so I had my phone out and it was cold and my hands were frozen and I have MS, and I took my phone out while she was screaming and shaking my arm, and I attempted to Google how long does it take to die in the cold.
That Google search was at 2:27 in the morning. That's when the Google search happened, and you'll find out why we know that.
I want to know why he didn't cross her on that, John. I guess it's coming today. Your thoughts?
I think they made a mistake, Julie, because I think today she's going to be more prepared. She's got a sense of how this goes. And there's no way anyone that watches Jen McCabe, they're not going to convince her that at 2:27 in the morning that she Googled that. So I understand that they're going to try to show that something was extracted and may show that way. I think it's going to come up short. But I agree with you. That myth that the defense has put out there, it's incredible how that has taken hold. You know, the old adage of a lie makes its way halfway around the world for the truth has a chance to put its pants on. But there's no way that Alan Jackson is going to convince Jen McCabe. She Googled that at 2:27. You know, late summer, I was told she Googled that from inside the house. So, and obviously, clearly now, they're not even trying to fight on that. I think Jen McCabe, this is a polished witness. This is not easy, high profile. But also, you know, her husband, Matt McCabe, had said this has been pure misery for the past 2 years. So I think, again, they get a sense of the family. I thought it was big when she mentioned Peg O'Keefe. It shows she has a relationship with John O'Keefe's mother. These were the friends, Julie, of John O'Keefe. You know, they all admired that he had adopted his niece and nephew. They were all supporting him with that. He had surrounded himself with a nice crew. But look at the way this thing has turned.
It's stunning and really heartbreaking, John. You're right, it has taken a turn, and every day on this show, you know, we want to make a point to always put the focus on the victims, on John O'Keefe, and for everyone not to forget, I know you certainly aren't, John, that John O'Keefe is the victim in this case. Yes. No matter what side you're on, how you look at it, what you believe, he is the victim. And John, we're going to be talking with you more in our 9 o'clock hours. We're getting ready to go into Court TV Live. Since you were there in Massachusetts, you broadcast your show there, would love to ask you, we'll talk more about the public sentiment. I know you're talking to people, and what I'm really curious about is whether these protesters outside the courthouse and the people who are viciously attacking other people online, even just legitimate journalists reporting on the facts, whether they are reflective of the sentiment of the public at large. So we'll discuss that with you when you return at 9. John DePetro, thank you kindly, award-winning radio show host and creator of Road Patrol Live. We'll see you in a bit. Thanks so much. Here's what's next here on Opening Statement.